There comes a point in your life where peace is no longer optional. It's essential. And often that peace doesn't come from what you say to others. It comes from what you stop saying. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone, especially not to people who have already decided that your worth is negotiable. You see, toxic people thrive on reaction. Your silence, your absence, your emotional distance, that's the real power play. Here's the truth. You don't have to win an argument to walk away from one. Sometimes removing someone from your space doesn't require a dramatic exit. No yelling, no closing speech, just less. Less of your time, less of your access, less of your energy. Toxic people feed off your attention, so when you pull it back, not with spite, but with self-respect, they lose control. You're not punishing them, you're protecting you. Let your silence be your clarity. It's not passive, it's purposeful. It's the type of silence that says, I'm done explaining why I deserve peace. It's the boundary that doesn't need a label, it just is. And guess what? When you stop responding, you start revealing. You begin to see who values your presence and who only noticed when you pulled it away. This isn't about ghosting people. It's about growing beyond them. When someone continuously crosses your lines, they don't need another warning. They need to feel your absence. Because sometimes the loudest message you can send is the one where you say nothing at all. So stop rehearsing what you're going to say. Stop planning the perfect comeback. Instead, move different. Protect your energy. Protect your peace. And let the quiet do the talking. One of the most important things you can ever master in life is not how to win an argument, but how to walk through one without losing yourself. Toxic people, those who drain your peace, disrespect your boundaries, and feed on emotional chaos, they aren't looking for resolution. They're looking for reaction. And the moment you let them dictate the emotional tone of the room, you've given away your power. Think about it. Ever walked into a space where someone's mood was loud, even when they didn't say a word? That's energy, and it's contagious if you allow it to be. But here's the thing. You are not obligated to match the volume of their dysfunction. They want you to be loud, defensive, reactive, because that's where they gain control. That's their home turf. When you step into chaos, you play by their rules. But when you stay calm, you shift the power dynamic instantly. Managing your calm doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. It means you've chosen clarity over confusion, peace over proving a point. And that is strength most people won't recognize, especially the ones who thrive off drama. So when the jabs come, and they will, through sarcasm, passive aggression, guilt trips, or full-blown gaslighting, pause. Take a breath. Step back mentally. Remember this. Not every comment deserves a comeback. Not every attack needs a defense. Sometimes the most disarming thing you can do is nothing. Respond. Don't react. And sometimes don't even respond. Because when you stay grounded, you force them to face their own instability. When you don't flinch, don't argue, don't fire back, they're left with nothing to feed off. It's like trying to start a fire with no spark. They can't escalate what you refuse to energize. You'll notice something powerful when you stop matching chaos. The conversation either de-escalates or it exposes itself. Both are wins. And you walk away intact. No regrets, no aftermath, no need to clean up emotional wreckage. Control the energy, not the argument. Because energy is everything. The moment you control yours, you influence the entire room without raising your voice. You set the tone without saying a word. You decide who gets your peace and who no longer qualifies for access to it. And here's the closing truth. When someone tries to pull you into chaos, staying calm is not silence. It's strategy. It's not disengagement. It's self-respect. So let them raise their voice. Let them spiral. Let them exhaust themselves trying to pull you off center. Stay rooted. Stay grounded. Because real power doesn't shout. It doesn't scramble. It doesn't chase. Real power sits still and speaks without a sound. Some people think the only way to be heard is to speak louder, argue harder, or explain longer. But the truth is, nothing commands more attention than your quiet decision to detach. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned to care without sacrificing yourself. It means you've stopped handing your peace to people who misuse it. And instead of fighting to be understood, you start valuing your own understanding of what you need, what you deserve, and what you're no longer available for. See, when you confront someone who isn't ready to listen, you're not resolving. You're exhausting. You're pouring energy into a cup that has no bottom. That's why no matter how many times you explain, they still don't get it. It's not that you're unclear. It's that they don't want to get it. So instead of chasing closure or trying to fix what they won't even admit is broken, you step back. Not with bitterness, not with revenge, but with resolve. And here's the shift. When you create distance, not in anger, but in clarity, you start making the kind of noise that can't be ignored. Detachment is not absence of love, it's the presence of boundaries. You no longer engage to prove your point. You no longer argue to protect your position. You simply remove your energy, and that sends a message words never could, because toxic people can ignore your logic. They can dismiss your feelings. They can spin your words. But your silence, your absence, that's a mirror they can't escape. You see, the most powerful form of communication is not always verbal. Sometimes it's the decision to disengage completely. You stop texting first. You stop showing up for conversations that only leave you drained. You stop over-explaining your worth to people who were never listening to begin with. And in that silence, they start hearing. In your distance, they start noticing. And in your detachment, they finally understand. They don't have the same access anymore. That version of you who tolerated the chaos, gone. That you who made excuses for their behavior, gone. That seat in your life they once took for granted, empty. You didn't scream. You didn't slam the door. You just stopped handing out invitations to your peace. That's what real strength looks like. So if you're struggling to be heard, let this be your reminder. You don't need to yell to make a statement. You don't need to beg to be seen. Just back up. Take your energy with you. Let your absence become the silence that speaks the truth they refuse to hear, because detachment is louder than any confrontation. And sometimes the strongest message you'll ever send is, I'm not playing this game anymore. And you say it by walking away, with your head high, your peace intact, and your silence loud. We live in a world that pressures us to explain everything. Our choices, our boundaries, our peace. But here's something they don't tell you. You don't have to answer every call for your attention. Silence is not weakness. It's a tool. It's a boundary. And more than that, it's a filter. Because when you stop reacting, stop replying, stop rushing to defend or explain, people start showing you exactly who they are without you lifting a finger. You'll notice something powerful when you step back. People who were only around for what they could take will fall off. People who respected you only when they had access to your emotions